Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're ready to laugh at some truly terrible criminals, hit that subscribe button and give this video a big thumbs up. We're counting down the top 10 dumbest thieves of all time, and trust me, these guys are about as sharp as a bowling ball. From cucumbers to chimneys, these stories are so unbelievable, you'd swear we made them up. Get ready to shake your head and question the intelligence of humanity. Let's get started. Our first contender for dumbest criminal mastermind clearly skipped out on the planning phase of his heist. This genius decided to rob a bank armed with nothing but, wait for it, a cucumber. That's right, a cucumber. I guess he figured he'd just ask politely, "Excuse me, this is a cucumber, could you please empty the registers?" Witnesses said the teller just stared at him, probably wondering if they were being pranked for a YouTube video. Our man with the cucumber, realizing his plan wasn't exactly bulletproof, decided to make a run for it. Now you might think a cucumber wouldn't strike fear into the hearts of anyone but a salad, but this guy was committed. He waved that thing around like it was a gun, yelling about pickles and whatnot. But here's the kicker, folks. He didn't even make it out the door. He tripped over the rug, the cucumber went flying, and he landed face first in a pile of deposit slips. The cops found him there, surrounded by scattered cucumbers, muttering about how he almost had away with it if it wasn't for that darn rug. This next story proves that even criminals need a little help from technology now and then. Our boy here decided to break into a local electronics store, probably hoping to score the latest smartphone or maybe a new gaming console. He managed to break the lock, sneak past the security cameras, or so he thought, and even pried open the back door without making too much noise. So far, not bad, right? Well, here's where things take a turn for the worse than a bad Yelp review. You see, our forgetful friend left his phone charging in the back office. And guess what? He also left his resume on the desk, conveniently listing his skills as lockpicking and electronics repair. The police didn't even need to dust for fingerprints on this one. They just called him up, asked him how his job hunt was going, and then suggested he come down to the station for a little chat. It seems our thief was really bad at covering his tracks, but great at self-sabotage. This story comes straight from the "you can't make this stuff up" files. Our aspiring car thief thought he'd hit the jackpot when he found an unlocked car with the keys in the ignition. He hopped in, feeling pretty smug about his good fortune, only to discover he couldn't start the engine. Why? Because the car was equipped with a breathalyzer, a device that prevents drunk drivers from getting behind the wheel. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm guessing our buddy here wasn't exactly sober when he decided to go for a joyride. He tried everything, blowing gently, blowing hard, even holding his breath, but that stubborn breathalyzer wouldn't budge. Frustrated, he gave up and stumbled out of the car, not realizing he was parked right under a streetlight and a security camera. The police reviewed the footage the next day, and I imagine they had a good laugh watching this guy huff and puff into the breathalyzer like it was a party balloon. They tracked him down pretty quickly, and I'm sure the judge had a few choice words about the dangers of drinking and grand theft auto. Chapter 4. The 911 Mishap. This next story proves that even criminals can have a moment of panic. This burglar decided to target a local jewelry store. He smashed the display case, grabbed handfuls of glittering necklaces and rings, and stuffed them into his bag. He was feeling pretty good about himself, thinking he was home free. But as he was making his getaway, he tripped over a security guard's walkie-talkie. Now you'd think a seasoned criminal would just keep running, right? Not this guy. He panicked and frantically started pressing buttons on the walkie-talkie, hoping to somehow disable it. Little did he know he was actually dialing 911. The police were treated to a live audio feed of our thief's panicked breathing, followed by him yelling, "I think I just robbed a place. Oh God, what do I do? Talk about a direct line to justice." The police arrived in record time, catching him red-handed, or should I say red-faced, with his hands full of stolen jewelry. I bet he wished he had just invested in a burner phone. Chapter 5. The Banana Bandit. Some criminals use guns, some use knives, and then there's this guy, who decided a banana was the perfect weapon of choice. He walked into a convenience store, pulled out his weapon, and demanded all the money in the register. Now I don't know about you, but if someone pointed a banana at me, I'd probably die laughing before handing over any cash. And that's pretty much what happened. The cashier just stared at him, probably wondering if this was some kind of bizarre prank show. Our wannabe robber, realizing his attempt at intimidation was falling flat, decided to up the ante. He yelled, "It's a real banana, I swear, don't make me peel it." That's when the cashier lost it. He burst out laughing, and even the customers started chuckling. The banana bandit, defeated and humiliated, slunk out of the store empty-handed. The security footage went viral, of course, and the police easily identified him from his unique choice of weaponry. I'm guessing he'll be eating his words and maybe a few bananas in jail. Chapter 6, The Chimney Catastrophe. Remember the story of Santa getting stuck in the chimney? Well, this is like that, but instead of a jolly gift giver, it's a bumbling burglar. This guy decided to try a classic Hollywood heist move, entering through the chimney. He figured it was a foolproof way to bypass the security system and make a clean getaway. What he didn't factor in was the fact that chimneys are often narrow, dirty, and well, not designed for human passage. He squeezed his way down, but about halfway he got wedged in tight. There he was, stuck like a lump of coal in a stocking, unable to move up or down. He tried to call for help, but his muffled cries were drowned out by the sound of the fireplace crackling. Finally, the homeowners heard the commotion and called the fire department. The firefighters arrived to find a very embarrassed and sooty burglar hanging out in the fireplace. Chapter 7, The Police Convention Caper. This thief must have skipped the location chapter in the How to Rob a Bank handbook. He chose to target a bank that just happened to be hosting a police convention. Now you'd think a criminal mastermind would do a little reconnaissance before attempting a daring heist. But not this guy. He waltzed right into the bank, completely oblivious to the fact that it was crawling with off-duty police officers. He brandished his weapon, which turned out to be a water pistol by the way, and demanded everyone get down on the ground. The officers, probably stifling their laughter, politely obliged. One officer even offered him a donut while they waited for the on-duty squad to arrive and make the official arrest. Talk about being caught in a sticky situation. I bet he'll think twice before trying to rob a bakery next time. Chapter 8, The Bike Bandit's Big Mistake. This story proves that even the simplest crimes can go hilariously wrong. Our bicycle bandit thought he'd found the perfect target, a shiny new bike locked to a bike rack. The only problem? The bike rack was located directly in front of a police station. Now you'd think that even the most inexperienced criminal would notice the flashing lights, the police cars coming and going, and the officers walking in and out of the building. But not this guy. He pulled out his bolt cutters, completely oblivious to the fact that he was surrounded by law enforcement. He was so focused on his task that he didn't even notice the police officer walking up behind him. The officer, probably trying not to laugh, cleared his throat and asked, "Excuse me, sir, what do you think you're doing?" Needless to say, our bike thief was apprehended immediately, and I'm guessing he won't be getting his bicycle license anytime soon. Chapter 9, The Facebook Felon. In the age of social media, it seems everyone wants their 15 minutes of fame, even criminals. This mastermind decided to rob a local electronics store and then brag about his epic heist on Facebook. He posted pictures of himself, wearing the stolen merchandise, headphones, sunglasses, the whole 9 yards. He even tagged his location at the scene of the crime. Talk about incriminating evidence. The police didn't even need to leave the station to solve this case. They simply sent him a friend request, accepted his invite, and then showed up at his doorstep with a warrant for his arrest. Chapter 10, The Store with a Fake Gun. Last but not least, we have a story that proves that crime doesn't pay, especially when you bring a fake gun to a real gunfight. This guy decided to rob a convenience store, but instead of using a real weapon, he opted for a toy gun. Now, I don't condone violence of any kind, but you have to be pretty naive to think you can intimidate someone with a brightly colored plastic pistol. The store owner, a former Marine with nerves of steel, took one look at the fake gun and burst out laughing. He then proceeded to chase the wannabe robber out of the store with a broom, yelling something about needing to teach him a lesson about the difference between a cap gun and a real firearm. Well, there you have it, folks. The 10 dumbest criminals who prove that truth is often stranger than fiction. From cucumbers to chimneys, these stories are a testament to the fact that not all criminals are criminal masterminds. I'm sure these guys will have plenty of time to think about their life choices while enjoying the complimentary accommodations at their local jail. And hey, Maybe their stories will serve as a cautionary tale for any aspiring criminals out there. Invest in a good disguise, leave the produce at home, and for love of all that is holy, double-check that you're not standing in front of a police station before attempting any illegal activities. Until next time, stay safe, stay smart, and try not to end up on our next Dumbest Criminals compilation.